Welcome into AJ's in the Alley. I am Devin Haney, along with first ballot Hall of Famer Haran O'Neal, as we get ready for a victory Monday, right? It's our favorite kind of Monday. It's after a victory where the Salina Liberty go on the road in the second game of their three-game road swing, and they were able to defeat the Topeka Tropics. And entertainment value as a fan was an incredible game. 66-65 to Salina gets the victory in overtime. I'm sure that you have picked this thing apart, though, and we'll go through some of that and see where we're at in this game. But there's a lot of things going on. If you're watching on Salina Post or on KINA right now, you're listening there, you can come on down to AJ Sports Grill inside the Alley, downtown Salina. We have certificates to give away, 4 of these every Coach O show. It's worth $100, says right there. $100 worth of family value things here at the Alley in downtown Salina. We also have a question of the day every time we have a Coach Haran O'Neal show, and we'll ask that question as we get along with Coach here today. Big victory on the road, 66-65 in overtime. You come off a bye week, you get that win. That's very important as well. Man, this game was crazy. I don't know if you are an indoor football fan and you're sitting there watching football for the first time in between the walls. One spectrum or the other, you have to love this game. This game was so entertaining to watch, and you guys were fortunate enough to pull out the win.
Well, by the graces of God, I'll say that. Yes, it wasn't as entertaining to the fans as it was for me as a coach. Definitely happy that we made the plays when they counted. Understanding the adjustments we made at halftime, that definitely helped us out. Our coaching staff came together and put a pretty good game plan together moving forward after that halftime. But it was not entertaining as a coach, just going back and forth. But it's true indoor football.
Yeah.
And if you're enjoying a bunch of scoring, that's exactly what it was. It went back and forth, and it went all the way, again, our second game in a row on the road to overtime. So definitely impressed with how our team played, far as just having the guts to endure all the things that they went through to get the win, because a weaker-minded team would not have pulled that game out in the end.
Yeah, and let's set the stage for this victory, too, because, I mean, this is a win that we've talked about it before, right? Topeka, a much better team than what they had last year. This is a team that has more talent. They have some pieces that are moving. Man, they are not that far away, it seems like. They have a nice core of receivers. They have a quarterback that seems like he's capable of getting things done. And this was just a team that I came away just thinking – night and day between last year and this year. This Topeka team they're pretty good.
Yeah, and it's not even a comparison. I mean, their 1-2 record does not even show exactly where they are. The game that they went up there to Billings and played, they didn't have one of their offensive linemen there. So, and that made a major difference in what they did. Not to say that made the difference in the outcome of the game, but how they played the game, how they called the game was a little bit different. But like I told their head coach, I told their quarterback and a couple of their receivers as well, you guys are very, very close. You guys have put the pieces together. And to me, like I told that quarterback, he's playing better than any quarterback in this league, bar Armstrong, that plays with Omaha. Those two quarterbacks are playing ridiculously, and Espinoza as well as another one is playing really well as well. So they're close of getting everything put together. The coach, he's doing his thing. He's moving the pieces and putting himself in position to try to win ball games. Special teams do count. We found that out against Sioux City in the end. So I understand exactly what he's thinking and what he's going through at this specific moment. And I just know once he gets it all together, they're going to be a team to be reckoned with. And I told them, I will see you guys in the playoffs, because I just really believe they will be one of the best teams in this league to qualify for the playoffs.
Last thing before we dig into this game, Coach, is the crowd. You guys had a lot of Liberty fans there, but those Topeka fans were awesome as well. I mean, that was a great atmosphere to play in. It was going back and forth, and it was just loud in that arena. I mean, it was such a great atmosphere.
Yes, and I got to give kudos to the guy that does the mic for them for their game day. He was into the game. He got the crowd into the game. He had the music coordinated with how he was speaking to the crowd, that coordination of that. So I got to give the ownership group of Topeka a big hands up. They definitely were a factor in that ball game. That guy that works the mic for them, the PA guy, he did his thing as well. And he got that crowd so fired up on every aspect. So it was a very fun game to be in, and I love coaching in games like that.
Yeah, absolutely. You told me in pregame, we do a 30-minute pregame every game day on KINA leading up to kickoff, and one of our topics of pregame chatter was you wanted to see not only your first-time kicker coming in, 3 games, 3 different kickers now. You want to see some stability established at that kicking spot. We'll talk about that here in a little bit. But you also wanted to see a big play on your return team. You wanted to be able to cover kicks. Your return didn't have to wait very long. It was on the opening kickoff. Kevin Simmons was able to get one and take it back to the house where he took it about the 4 and was able to go back about 46 yards. Had some great blocks. Talk about the play to open the game.
Well, Coach Spiller was challenged by myself as well as Coach Martinez to produce explosive play on the kickoff return team. We didn't have one so far previous to that play. We wasn't close at all. He changed some different things. He put some different people in. He juggled some different pieces, and he came up with a great game plan because he kept us in pretty good field position all night long, not just that actual play right there, but to come out and get that big score like that, it was so valuable in what we did moving forward. It gave us the momentum in which we needed to start the game and do the things that we needed to do. So Coach Spiller gets all the credit for that. He came up with the scheme, he came up with the players, and he called the right play at the right time, and everybody executed the play correctly. And it showed, like, even in practice. On Thursday is our special teams practice at the end of practice, and his fire and tenacity that he came with it, like just making sure everybody was on point, understanding what they needed to do on the plays of special teams. We made it an emphasis, and he definitely did, and definitely all shouts go out to him.
Let's talk about Coach Spiller. That's a guy that we haven't talked about yet. Your coaching staff pretty much remained the same from last season. Of course, you're the head coach. Jorge Martinez, we get him on the show all the time. Then also Dylan Mendocino is kind of your eyes in the sky, as you say, along with Jorge. Monty Spiller, though, is a guy that's new to you. He is a K-State person. He played football for the Wildcats. He is a defensive coordinator, I believe, at Rock Creek High School, where his kids go to school. He had a senior this year that was pretty good at running back, as far as I know, because we saw him. I called one of their games to begin the season this year. How did it come to where Monty Spiller was part of this coaching staff?
Well, I really can't take too much credit for that. Dylan Mendocino is a guy that we use analytically. He's a very brilliant mind. He was the guy to actually find out who he was, introduced his resume to me, and once I seen it and seen kind of where he came from, and he had some indoor experience, and he's locally right here, fits exactly in which we're trying to do. I can't take any credit for it. Dylan Mendocino is the guy that actually found him, and when he introduced us, I talked to him, and we did our deal. But I want to give all credit to Dylan. That's why I say it's not always, yes, we win games, we do all this, and yes, I get a lot of the credit, but the credit is zero with me when it comes to getting him. Dylan Mendocino was the guy to actually find him and get him to, give me his information for us to talk, and then Coach Martinez and him talk and do the different things that they do throughout the week to make sure what we need on game day is correct and what I want.
So you're up 7-0 to start this game. Then your defense comes on the field, and your defense was challenged all game long. We already talked about the Topeka receivers, the Topeka quarterback, Lorenz Stefan, who was in this game. And it seemed like, to me, just watching him, if you came in and you saw a couple plays that Stefan was running in this game from the quarterback spot, he looked unsettled. But it was one of those things, it was almost like creative chaos, if you will. He was dancing around. He was always looking one way but then throwing the other, and that really kept your defense off balance, didn't it?
Well, like I said, I feel, in my opinion, and I'm not trying to slight anybody or even my own quarterback, he's playing the best quarterback in this league. What he is doing with that team, he's transforming that Topeka Tropic team into something that's going to be a force to be reckoned with. Coach did a great job of recruiting him down that way. The plays that he's making on the field, I mean, anytime a player can throw 6 touchdowns on me and have another rushing touchdown, I have to give respect. I don't care where we are defensively. It doesn't even matter. No matter who is stepping foot in front of him, he's stepping up and making plays. So Lorenz is to me is the best quarterback in this league, and I got to give credit to Coach Simpson for the play calling as well as him for executing the plays as well.
Topeka was able to answer the kickoff return with a touchdown of their own. They also got the extra point from Billy Perry, made it 7-7. Your offense comes out and has a turnover on downs. Right back to the Tropics, they were able to score again and make it 13-7. And then your defense and your special teams kind of shined a little bit again. Trevante Carter in his first game with you guys on defense and on special teams was able to block that extra point. And that kind of set the tone, I think, for maybe some bad trends for the Topeka kicking team going through this game. And we'll get to that a little bit later on, too, in case you missed the game. But come up down, we're 13-7. You guys are down by 6, and we have a turnover. And I want to talk about this a little bit because we had 2 interceptions in this game. One of them was thrown directly. One of them was off of a tipped ball. But both of those interceptions happened on first down. So you get the chains moving. You're going down the field. You're in their side of the territory. You're basically on the plus side of the field, and then interception strikes on first down. How big are those turnovers? I know turnovers are never good at any time, but first down turnovers kind of sting a little bit more, don't they?
Well, a turnover period stings, so I don't care if it's on fourth down. I mean, the thing that we have to be is more understanding of what we're trying to get accomplished. With it being on first down, we have 3 to 4 other downs that we can still make a play on. Just understanding the situation, understanding the play call, and doing what the plays say do. And if it's not there, take off, run, or throw it away. So we just have to be smarter with the football. I'm never going to co-sign a turnover.
Yeah.
It was definitely something that we're not happy with at all. We pride ourselves on not turning the ball over offensively and forcing many on defense. So that was something that was a low point for us that we're definitely continue to work on.
Out of that turnover, Topeka was able to score it again, make it 22-7 at the end of the first quarter. Then the Liberty was able to come back. Tristan Gould had a touchdown, made it 22-14 after a Jimmy Kozlowski kick. And then it was just kind of trading punches back and forth from there. A lot of things happened, but you go through and you come to the end of the half, and it's 40-30. You're down by 10 at halftime. We'll talk about the conversation at halftime. We'll talk about third and fourth quarter when we come back as we are up against our first break. If you are still listening on KINA or watching on SalinaPost.com, you're welcome to come down and join us here at AJ's in the Alley. 29-inch pizzas. I don't know where else you can get those. As a matter of fact, on Tuesday, pizzas, no matter what the size here at AJ's in the Alley, they are buy one, get one free. And one of them is a Superdome that is 29 inches large. I've seen the guys take down some of those pizzas, too. And
they're good.
Yeah, they are delicious. There's no doubt about that. So AJ's in the Alley is a spot. We are on the Coach O Show, brought to you by the Salina Pain Clinic and also Brooks Liquor. We'll be back with more on KINA and also streaming live on SalinaPost.com.
Of Abilene, yeah, Abilene Car Sales is the place that will save you lots of money.
Warmer weather is here at Abilene Car Sales. Lots of sunshine means it's time to spring into the fun. Abilene Car Sales is ready to help you find that perfect vehicle for summer fun. Add a reliable truck to pull that camper or boat. Perhaps upgrade your current ride to something a little more fuel-friendly. Stop by and save on Northwest 3rd or see our inventory, AbileneCarSales.com, and spring into fun.
It's spring cleaning time, and that means you should add one more little thing to your to-do list. Call Comfort Heating and Air for an HVAC clean and check. Our technicians will make sure your system is in tip-top shape, so when warm weather arrives, your AC will be ready. That means cleaning your coils, checking Freon levels, double-checking all electrical connections for safety, even changing your filters. With locations in Salina and Clay Center, we are the company that cares. Comfort Heating and Air.
You can rely on the company that cares. We're Comfort Heating and Air.
Precision Electrical Contractors, LLC in Salina is now hiring full-time electricians in the central Kansas area. Licensing and experience in the commercial electric field is preferred but not required. Must be a team player, performance-driven, and have job safety as a top priority. Precision Electric's benefit package includes health and life insurance, 401k, paid vacation and holidays. A valid driver's license and pre-employment drug screening is required before employment. Apply on our website at pecsalina.com. Equal opportunity employer.
Spring
Spring cleaning time! A wonderful time of the year. Winter is over and hope springs eternal. You have the windows open. The birds are singing and you can't help but notice that smell. That awful smell. What is that? That is your septic system backing up into your home, making spring flowers smell, well, like a friendly reminder from Salina Septic Service. If you haven't had your septic system pumped out and cleaned in the last 3 years, you are asking for trouble. Salina Septic Service. You better call today.
For over 30 years, Ryan Roofing has been the area's leader in commercial roofing installation. Over 10 million square feet of Duralast roofing. Now, Ryan Roofing is expanding their expertise to the residential properties to better serve you and your home. Shingles, windows, siding, and gutters. Call Ryan Roofing in Salina today for a free roof assessment and get the expert advice you need. Ryan Roofing, serving commercial businesses in the area for over 30 years and now working for you on your residential property.
When does normal acute pain become abnormal chronic pain? Chronic pain can be one of two types, nociceptive and neuropathic. Each type differs based on what causes it, what it feels like, and what treatments may relieve it. Neuropathic pain can often be managed by a therapy called neurostimulation or spinal cord stimulation. If you suffer from chronic pain, ask your primary care physician for a referral to the Salina Pain Clinic. Our pain specialist will discuss the right options to manage your pain. Online at salinapainclinic.org.
The ball high in the air. It's going to come down to Simmons inside the 5-yard line at the 4. He crosses on the right-hand side of the 10, 15, 20. Look out, Simmons is on the loose. He's crossing midfield, and he's going to house the opening kick. There's the big play that Coach Hirano Deal was looking for, and he gets it on the opening kickoff with Kevin Simmons going down the field, 46 yards for a Liberty touchdown.
And now back to the Coach O Show with Devin Haney and Coach Hirano Deal.
That was the opening play from the Stormont Vale Events Center in Topeka, where the Salina Liberty took a 7-0 lead on a Kevin Simmons opening kickoff return for a touchdown. Fast forward now, we just hit halftime and basically working our way through the third quarter. I know you and I talk a lot about halftime, and a lot of people say, oh, they make such great adjustments, and you told me at one time, well, it's not really that. Sometimes it's just a refocus. Sometimes it's just little mini conversations between players here and there. Down at where you were at halftime, talk about the conversations, maybe some adjustments that were made and some things that you saw.
Well, basically what I talked to, the groups that I talked to was the defensive backs. That's where we had our major issues with. We've had major issues for the first 3 games. So just trying to calm them down, make them understand what we're going to do, and then the adjustments moving forward of how we're going to change the game plan of what we did in the first half to what we're going to do in the second half. Making them understand the importance of, we always say, the play within the play. Yes, the play say do this, but then the play within the play say do this, this, and this. And just getting them to understand how important that piece of the game is. Offensively, yes, we brought, some of the offense in there to kind of talk to them a little bit, but it was more so defensively we needed to get 1 or 2 stops. If we get 1 or 2 stops, we have to make sure that our offense scores off of those. It wasn't a bunch of yelling, screaming, and cussing as most people think that really goes on there. In this aspect, we didn't have to do any of that. Coach Martinez came up with some great adjustments of what we're going to do offensively, of what we're looking at. Coach Mendocino was telling us of the different tendencies of what they were working on as well as Coach Spiller was talking about some of the different things we'll do defensive back-wise. So it was just some minor adjustments of what we needed to do to give us a better chance of trying to pull this game out in the second half.
Third quarter had a little bit of a strange score. You were able to outscore Topeka 11-6 in that quarter. There were some going back and forth there. You were able to turn them over on downs where they had to kick it away to you, and you were also able to get a swing on a point after. And I know point after touchdown scores have been a big conversation so far. It really has changed the game and the way you're going to approach this game. Topeka kind of had the template where they were going to go for 3 after every single touchdown. That's great, but also what a lot of people now realize is when you go for 3 and you turn the ball over and it goes back the other way on a quick change, you get 3, and that's what happened here in this game. Dontre Matthews got an interception. He was able to pitch it off to a guy that was running down the wall, and you were able to get 3 yourself. That's a 6-point swing there.
Absolutely. Detre saw the play. He's the thing I feel so bad about Detre is he would be leading the league in interceptions if they counted interceptions on 2, 3, and 4-point conversions. He's got about 5 interceptions.
Yeah.
But this one right here was huge for the simple fact that he picked it off and he pitched it to our new guy that we just brought back, Keontae Roberts, who scooted up that wall for probably about 35 yards for a touchdown. So not only was it big just to get the points, but the momentum of that to boost us to what we needed. And it was basically it's a bounce-back game for Detroit as well. Detroit, he'll tell you himself, has not been himself the first 2 games, and one had to do he played linebacker his second game.
Yeah.
So to have the game that he played this past week in Topeka was his best game of the year, and I'm hoping to build upon that and to continue to doing what Detroit always does. I mean, the Predator going to do what Predator do, and he did. That play right there was, I think, the turn that we needed, that momentum to switch to show that, yes, we can win this football game and we have the playmakers to do it. So huge play made by a player that this is why he's with us, and we know that's what he does all the time for us, change momentum.
We've talked a lot about special teams and defense in this game. Let's talk about offense. Your passing game was pretty good. We saw a couple of drops early on in the game, but ironically, Anthony Love, the guy that had the couple of drops, really responded in a big way. And I thought that was one of his best games as a Liberty receiver as well.
Yeah, he didn't get into the box, but he did have 9 catches for 99 yards.
Yeah,
so
huge.
The thing, like I said, to him is if you make the 2 that you dropped, you're over 100 yards. So just minor things that we come to expect from a Love. He was often, injured. He had nagging injuries last year. This year, he's fighting through some different things as well. But to go out there and play the way he played, he has been the most consistent guy. If you look at all 3 games, his numbers are right there with everything. And the thing that I love about this offense here is you pick your poison, so to say.
Yeah.
Ed Smith had a great game for us game 1. D-Wash had a great game for us game 2. Now it's a Love. So each receiver has taken over the game in 3 separate ways. So, and then the most consistent about all of that is Tracy Brooks. He's back to doing Tracy Brooks type things. I mean, 5 touchdowns in a game, and also had a 2-point conversion as well. He picked up the blitz every single time they did it. Just a very positive game offensively. And I mean, it's hard to argue when you score 75 and I think 38 and then 60, 66 we scored offensively. So definitely happy with the offensive line, the strides they made as well, and doing the things that they do to give the quarterback the time that he need to make the decisions they need to make. So I'm loving both our quarterbacks. I'm loving our offensive line, and I'm loving our running backs as well as receivers.
Tracy, as you said, the former MVP, he had 2 touchdowns in the first half. He also posted 2 touchdowns in the second half, one of them a 3-yard touchdown run, and then also the 3-point conversion after touchdown was a pass to Tracy.
Yep.
That put you guys up 59-53 with 24 seconds left. So here we are towards the end of the game, 20-ish seconds left. You're able to kick off and give Topeka one last shot at it. They ran 3 plays, I think, and on the 3rd play, they lofted one up towards the end zone in a desperation play. Lorenz Stefan was backpedaling. He put it up there. 3 Liberty players there, 1 Tropics receiver, and wouldn't you know it, you could almost see the preview of this play coming through in your mind. Tip, and right into the hands of a Tropics receiver. And there we are, tied again, right? Talk about that play and just what you saw on the field.
Well, I'll just say 2 words there: heartburn. That's what that felt. I mean, it was bad. As a coach, you put your team in a situation to be productive. Veteran player, CJ, I'm not going to beat him to death, but just knocked the ball down, game's over. So, yes, I was not happy with that. I think that's the understatement of the year right there. They gave them the opportunity to win the ball game right there when we had the game at hand. From all the adversity from the first quarter to now to that 4th quarter, we battled back to get control of the game, and then we lost it right back. So very disappointing. And it goes along with the disappointment that I've had with our defense, period, in our first 3 games. It's not where it needs to be. We need to get better. I need to be better. It starts with me. I need to get our secondary linebacker and defensive line playing better. I need to call better plays and things of that nature to be more productive on the field defensively.
So at that point, it's 59-59 Topeka. All they have to do is come on, kick the extra point, and they're going to win the game and defend their home field. But you get a haul pass. That extra point hits the right upright, and then all of a sudden we play on. And you go into extra time for overtime. We're getting familiar with this now. After not having overtime games for so long, you played back-to-back overtimes now. One in Sioux City, one here in Topeka, both of them on the road. You win the coin toss. Topeka gets the football. And that's almost a necessity, right? With the point-after rules and things like that, you have to give the other team the ball and give them an opportunity to see what they're going to have to know what you have to answer with.
Exactly, and that's my strategy all day is I'm going to put my defense out there. I'm a defensive head coach, and I believe my defense is going to make the play because why do you do it? Why wouldn't you do it? If you get a stop right there, I can raise up and just kick a field goal and we win the game. So I'm going to always put my defense out there. I've been very consistent with how I do things here. I'm going to put my defense out first and let them do what they need to do, and then offensive we'll come and clean it up. And defense somewhat did what they need to do. It was just a play there at the end that we didn't execute the play correctly. But, again, that's on me. I need to call a better defensive play right there, and we wouldn't have been in that situation.
A little bit of a trick play. Topeka pulls the tackle eligible on you, and they put an offensive lineman in the end zone, pass him the ball, he catches it, and they go up 65-59 with the extra point pending. But once again, that extra point was no good, and another point left on the shelf by the Tropics. You get the football back, and you go down the field, have a nice drive. Tracy Brooks again into the end zone, his 5th touchdown. So here we are, all tied up again. Now you have a chance to win with an extra point with a kicker that you just met that day.
Yes.
Less than 6 hours before this, here comes Jimmy Kozlowski on the field and a chance to win in this first game as a Liberty kicker, and he gets the job done.
Well, I mean, I'm just going to stick very consistent in my morals and who I am as a coach. It was the exact same situation we had in Sioux City. The way I look at it, if you dress a kicker, which I always will do, you got to let him go out and earn his check.
Yeah.
And like you said, Jimmy, that was the first time I met him face-to-face, was right before the game, and we were getting the snaps and everything down right before the game. But I didn't waver any. I knew this was the right play. I called upstairs to Coach Martinez, and Martinez said, go for the one. So Coach Martinez has been with me for double-digit years, and what he says is, especially on game day, is the gospel to me, and it was just reassurance to know that we're making the right decision by doing this, and it was executed perfectly. The protection was good, the hole was good, the snap was good, and Jimmy, like I told him on his Facebook, that's the way you introduce yourself to the team.
Yeah, and I will never call a kick like that without mentioning snap by Kelvin McCoy back to Tracy Brooks for the hold, kick by Jimmy Kozlowski. It's a 3-part rule, not to mention the blockers on the outside too protecting that. 66-65 after that successful PAT. You get the victory now. 2-1 on the season. Your last road trip of this 3-game series now, with the bye week stuck in there too, comes up this Sunday. You have a Sunday game in Rapid City against the Marshalls. Marshalls have an interesting schedule too. They're playing a Monday night game tonight. What do you know about the Marshalls so far? Is it kind of, the road trip I know is a big part of it, but what do you see when you get on the field there?
Well, I mean, you're looking at them. They're explosive on offense, and they have a very defense that makes plays when it's time to make the plays. So it's not going to be easy. It's going to be a dogfight. I mean, half of it is just the trip from here to there, in the manner in which we do that. That's going to be very, very tough because it's so far away. But also understanding that they're a good football team, great ownership group there. Their head coach, I remember when he was a player for the Wyoming Cavalry. So, and then their defensive coordinator, he played here for a little bit. So, understanding kind of what they're trying to do and looking at that, and it's not going to be an easy game. Yes, this road trip has been tough, but if we can somehow figure out and make the plays that we need to make to win this game, it sets us up pretty good for our homestead that we have coming up after that. But this is not going to be easy. Our team is aware of it, and we have things that we need to improve on as well. So a very, very big game, very big game.
Your comfort heating and air question of the day, you're going to love this one because it seems to be a point of discussion amongst fans, us. We talk about it a lot. It is the point after rule, right? We just mentioned it's changed the game a little bit and how you're going to do it. And Benny and Solomon wants to know, when you come into the game, specifically the Topeka game, are you planning on kicking the extra point afterwards? Does the plan change as the game goes along depending on the other team? And also, it's kind of a two-layered question. What's the difference between a 2-yard point after and a 5-yard point after in your mind? He knows the points are different, but is it a total different play call? What is it?
Absolutely.
It seems like on the 2-yard line, I will say, pretty comfortable going with the former MVP, right? I mean, you can count on him for 2 yards, but you scoot back, it's different.
Yeah, and it changes it drastically. So it kind of depends on the team that you're going against, as well as the plays that's kind of doing well for you in that game, as well as the plays that you scouted that you think. I can't take any credit for the plays that we call on our 2-point conversions or 3 or 4-point conversions. Coach Martinez calls those, and he was right on point to get that. I think it was a 2 or 3-point conversion there at the end. I leave for us to even go for 1, 2, or 3 or 4, I leave that all to my coaching staff, so I can't take any credit for any of that. My coaching staff come together collectively. They decide when we go for 1, 2, 3, or 4, and the play that's usually called on that is Coach Martinez, so I can't take any credit for it. It'd probably be a better question for Coach Martinez the next time y'all get him up here, but I listen to my coaches. I mean, we have a great coaching staff that I trust, and with the game on the line, I trusted them, and Coach Martinez came through with flying colors. So I can't take any credit for it. That's my coaches.
Very good. 66-65, the score in overtime. On to Rapid City this Saturday. Also, we want to remind fans, April 8th. It's not that far away, the next home game, as you will finally return back home to Tony's Pizza Event Center against Billings. But first, the Marshals in Rapid City coming up this Sunday. Appreciate your time. We've got Dontre Matthews coming up next.
All right, that should be very interesting. Since he already got me in trouble today.
That's right. He is here, by the way.
He's here.
We'll be back with more Salina Liberty football. The Coach O Show comes back after this. It's brought to you by St. John's Military Museum and Brooks Liquor here on KINA and SalinaPost.com.
Sports medicine is your home field advantage. Our physicians include sports medicine physician Dr. Matthew Pyle, along with orthopedic surgeons Drs. Travis Rump and Todd Riley, plus an A-team of certified athletic trainers and physical therapists. We're ready when you need us to help prevent injuries, enhance performance, or to heal through surgery and rehabilitation. For area athletes to weekend warriors, the home field advantage starts at Salina Regional Orthopedic and Sports Medicine.
When pests have become too much, it's time to call Hassman Termite and Pest Control. With staff having over 150 years of combined experience, we offer all services for structural pests: termites, ants, roaches, spiders, crickets, mice, and bed bugs. In our 60th year of our family serving yours, give us a call or visit us on the web at hassmantermite.com or see us on Facebook.
There's no better feeling than leaving the racetrack with a win, unless you are leaving the car lot with a great deal. That's how it feels to buy a vehicle at SalinaUsedCars.com. Dozens of late model vehicles that have been fully inspected and are backed by warranty. Cash accepted or financing for all credit levels. Whether you need a car, truck, SUV, crossover, or a van, SalinaUsedCars.com has them all. Get the winning feeling of a great deal at one of 2 locations or shop 24/7 at SalinaUsedCars.com.
St. John's Military School Historical Museum, located on the northeast corner of 9th and Otis, preserving the 131-year history of St. John's Military School and continuing its involvement within the Salina community. Visit us at sjmshm.org. Find us on Facebook or call the office today at 785-404-2333 for more information or to book an appointment.
It's spring cleaning time, and that means you should add one more little thing to your to-do list. Call Comfort Heating and Air for an HVAC clean and check. Our technicians will make sure your system is in tip-top shape, so when warm weather arrives, your AC will be ready. That means cleaning your coils, checking Freon levels, double-checking all electrical connections for safety, even changing your filters. With locations in Salina and Clay Center, we are the company that cares. Comfort Heating and Air.
You can rely on the company that cares. We're Comfort Heating and Air.
Are you looking for more than a job? Searching for a company that cares about its employees and rewards them for hard work? Street Plumbing, Heating, and Electrical is growing and looking for great people who want to work in plumbing and HVAC. With attractive benefits and competitive pay, the goal is to help you make a career out of what you do and love going to work. For more information, visit the website, streetphe.com. Street Plumbing, Heating, and Electrical, serving Central Kansas. An equal opportunity employer.
3 wide receivers now, left-hand side. Here's a lob pass. It's picked off. Here's a pickoff interception. Dontre Matthews, middle of the field. He pitches it out to Keontae Roberts. Roberts looking for space. He's on the loose. A block downfield by Travis Taylor, and it's going to be to the house. Keontae Roberts all the way through in a reverse of field. This should be 3 points for the Liberty.
And now back to the Coach O Show at AJ's in the Alley. Here's Devin Haney.
Got a little excited on that play. It was an exciting play by Dontre Matthews as the Topeka Tropics was looking to extend their lead, but D-Trey stepped in the pass, got another interception, and I say another interception because you, my friend, are on a roll here lately.
Man, it seemed like I'm catching them only on the conversions. I can't catch them during this, like, the actual plays.
Keeping points off the board, though, right?
Yeah, keeping the points off the board, but I got to keep them off the board, period.
Let's talk about this play because not only did you have enough awareness to make the play first off and make that interception, but you almost immediately turned around and found Keontae Roberts for the pitch. You had a guy coming up to tackle you pitched it to him, and he just had enough alley. Travis Taylor was there to seal the deal and get that one block that he needed to go through. And what fans are learning now with these new rules is when one team goes for a certain amount of points, whether it's 3, 4, or 5, if you reverse field and go the other way on them, you get those points, right? That's a 6-point swing.
Yes, sir. Man, my first initial thought was me to the house first, but then I seen a big lineman come up, and I knew somebody was chasing me. So when I spent, and I seen Keontae looking at me, I was just like, here, you got to take it up, take it down.
That's awesome. You're off to a great start this year. You also had an interception early on in this game. And I just want to get your perspective because I know how much you're involved in the defense. You're the captain on the defense. You're also kind of in charge of the secondary and what goes on there. But you've had to wear a lot of hats early on in this season. You played linebacker at Sioux City. You've played linebacker before in a 2-linebacker set, but you were a solo linebacker at Sioux City. Talk about the first 3 games. Tell me how they're going for you so far.
I mean, it's a roller coaster because, I mean, we were trying to find our way. We're trying to find we're putting the pieces together day by day, and we got to build chemistry. Once we get that final piece to where we can actually, like, put it together, we're going to be something great. Like, I mean, we're putting teams, I mean, everybody look at Topeka like they're a slouch. They're not a slouch. I mean, they got a quarterback that put up almost 1,000 yards in, 3 games? He's a real deal guy. I mean, he puts the ball in the air and he knows where he's throwing it at, and he got confident receivers to go make plays. We just out on our side, we have to be confident to make those plays because we were in position to make plays to where we could have turned the game around and they couldn't have that many points, but they got a good scheme over there.
You're the consistent factor in that secondary. When you go from the championship team last year to the team this year, you were used to having people that were veterans in this game. You talk about Kendrick Harper, one of the best all-time to do it. You replace players. There's always overturn, right? It might be in between seasons. It might be during the season. How much have you tried to work and tried to get the newer guys to buy into Coach O'Neill's system and what Coach Martinez is telling you guys and just kind of the Liberty type of defense? Because, I mean, not pulling any punches here. People are used to the Liberty pretty much having a dominating defense, right?
Yes, and it's my way of letting them know. I mean, I have an open door policy just like Coach O. I mean, I now reside here in Salina, so I tell them all the time, like, hey, when I get off work, you guys can pull up and we can watch film, we can do whatever. Like, I call meetings sometimes just to watch a game, just to have them come over and just play the Madden sometimes, like, just to get a awareness of just being around each other, talking more.
linebacker spot, you got a chance to play that. How was that in Sioux City? It's a little bit of a different deal for you, isn't it?
It was different because I'm not used to actually getting hit. So I knew their game plan was always to hit me. So me being that linebacker, I knew that was the golden ticket for them to get their rocks off and just drill me, hit me every chance they got, and that's what they did. They hit me every chance they got. I mean, hats off to that OC because he knew what they was doing, and they knew if they didn't touch me, it was a different ball game.
Yeah. What did you see against the Tropics specifically? We've talked about their receiving core, the quarterback spot that they have. That is definitely a different team than what they had last season. This team has a lot of talent. Their receiving core, I thought, just by themselves is a great group of guys. You were able, though, to not only get the interception on the point after, you got an interception earlier in the game, too. What were you able to pick up on in that game? Was it just kind of a scheme thing, or was it an instinct thing? What were you able to do during that?
Once I always go back to the sideline and look at the board and look at the iPad and make sure see what I'm seeing and make sure it's what I'm looking at.
Okay.
And that play that I caught the second pick on, it was a play they had ran. They tried to get us with before, and I knew that they seen that receiver behind me. So I kind of baited it up to make him think that he was going to be there. And when I seen the pressure on him, I knew it was just going to be either my chance to make a play on the ball or we're going to get an interception.
Yeah. Yeah, great atmosphere in Topeka, too, wasn't it? Those fans were in it. And we had a lot of fans there, too, from Salina, didn't we?
Yes, sir. Yeah, those fans are definitely into the game. They were talking a lot of trash. I mean, last year when we went up there, we had a guy banging a trash can in our in our end zone. So they come with intensity. They come with it.
Let's talk about the last play of regulation. You guys do your job. You force Topeka into a fourth down. The limited time on the clock. We know it's going to be the last play of regulation, and the ball kind of goes up there. And I know you were one of the people there. I know D-Wash was down there playing, kind of trying to help out too as well. And the ball just kind of deflects off of 1, 2, 3 hands, and then just drops to the turf where the Topeka receiver was. Man, it's one of those plays where you just got to shake your head, right? But you know that you got to play on.
Yeah, got to play on them. In that moment, I mean, you're taught to dot the ball down, and my guy, I ain't gonna put him out like that, but he said I was being selfish, D-Trey. I was being selfish, and he went to the locker room. He said, "Man, I prayed on it. We gonna come back and win."
Well, it did work out, and again, it plays like that. You see him every now and then, and that's just kind of what happened. Rapid City's up next. You have one home game or one visiting road game, I should say, left. Then you come back to Tony's Pizza Event Center, my friend. You're going to spend the whole month of April at home. How much do you love playing at home in this arena?
I love playing at home a lot, and now that the weather is going to be good and warm, I think everybody should come out now.
Yeah.
It's not going to be cold in April.
What's one thing you've been looking forward to playing Rapid City? This is an arena we haven't been to before. Mm-hmm. They came down here last year. Now we return the visit. We go to South Dakota coming up this weekend. What's one thing you're looking forward to with this road trip?
Just looking for a lot of camaraderie with the team, just us to bond and grow together. I mean, this is going to be the first road trip that we're going to be on the bus for hours to where we have no choice but to see each other. So hopefully this road trip will bring us even closer than what we already are.
What's your week look like when you go and you're getting ready to take a road trip like this? You have a busy week with practice and film, or is it pretty much just let's buckle down and hit the road?
Oh, no, it's a lot of film.
Yeah.
You got to watch a lot of film because, I mean, with this team, you don't know what you're going to get because they have a lot of moving pieces. Rumors are going around, you don't know what's going on, so you just got to be prepared for anything. And stay tuned and find what we do.
Yeah.
So we're mastering it.
I look forward to it. I know you guys are going to do nothing but improve. Many more interceptions to you, my friend, and
yes, sir.
A couple of scores in there sprinkled in as well, huh?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Dontre Matthews, he's the Predator. He is D-Trey. He is our guest here in our player profile here on the Coach Ron O'Neill Show. When we come back, Dan Mendocino will join us as we will go with the ownership group and see what they have cooking up. As we mentioned, a long string of home games coming up at Tony's Pizza Event Center.
Long.
We'll talk to Dan and see what's going on when we come back on the Coach O Show here on SalinaPost.com and KIA.
based on what causes it, what it feels like, and what treatments may relieve it. Neuropathic pain can often be managed by a therapy called neurostimulation or spinal cord stimulation. If you suffer from chronic pain, ask your primary care physician for a referral to the Salina Pain Clinic. Our pain specialists will discuss the right options to manage your pain. Online at salinapainclinic.org.
All right, here we go. Steve Z's Cars on the west side of Abilene. Yeah, Abilene Car Sales is the place that will save you lots of money.
Warmer weather is here at Abilene Car Sales. Lots of sunshine means it's time to spring into the fun. Abilene Car Sales is ready to help you find that perfect vehicle for summer fun. Add a reliable truck to pull that camper or boat. Perhaps upgrade your current ride to something a little more fuel-friendly. Stop by and save on Northwest 3rd or see our inventory, AbileneCarSales.com, and spring into fun.
Spring cleaning time! A wonderful time of the year. Winter is over and hope springs eternal. You have the windows open. The birds are singing and you can't help but notice that smell. That awful smell. What is that? That is your septic system backing up into your home, making spring flowers smell, well, like a friendly reminder from Salina Septic Service. If you haven't had your septic system pumped out and cleaned in the last 3 years, you are asking for trouble. Salina Septic Service. You better call today.
For over 30 years, Ryan Roofing has been the area's leader in commercial roofing installation. Over 10 million square feet of Durolast roofing. Now, Ryan Roofing is expanding their expertise to the residential properties to better serve you and your home. Shingles, windows, siding, and gutters. Call Ryan Roofing in Salina today for a free roof assessment and get the expert advice you need. Ryan Roofing, serving commercial businesses in the area for over 30 years and now working for you on your residential property.
When pests have become too much, it's time to call Hassman Termite and Pest Control. With staff having over 150 years of combined experience, we offer all services for structural pests: termites, ants, roaches, spiders, crickets, mice, and bed bugs. In our 60th year of our family serving yours, give us a call or visit us on the web at hassmantermite.com or see us on Facebook.
Salina Regional's Orthopedic and Sports Medicine is your home field advantage. Our physicians include sports medicine physician Dr. Matthew Pyle, along with orthopedic surgeons Drs. Travis Rump and Todd Riley, plus an A-team of certified athletic trainers and physical therapists. We're ready when you need us to help prevent injuries, enhance performance, or to heal through surgery and rehabilitation. For area athletes to weekend warriors, the home field advantage starts at Salina Regional Orthopedic and Sports Medicine.
And now back to the Coach O Show at AJ's in the Alley. Here's Devin Haney.
We are back here downtown Salina. AJ's in the Alley, along with owner Dan Mendocino, part of the ownership group here for the Salina Liberty. And boy, we were just combing over this game, Dan, and we're getting into it, and I hit about third quarter with Coach O, and we're 40 minutes into the show already. And what a great game. When you just look at indoor football and seeing it from an entertainment standpoint, and I don't care if it was your 30th game or your first game, what a game.
Yeah, I mean, first of all, respect to Topeka. They've come a long way. I mean, from last year. They have a very formidable offense. The quarterback and the receiving core is elite, but the fact of the matter was 131 points. If you're a fan and want to go see football, what a game. I mean, I talked to a lot of fans leaving the game themselves. They, of course, shook my hand and said congratulations, but I said congratulations to them too, because what a great football game that was.
You can tell those fans, and I thought it was a great crowd. Of course, Salina had a lot of fans there as well. It was probably 2-1, I would guess, to Topeka to Salina, but you can tell those fans are embracing the product. They love what they see, and man, they are thirsty for a win, aren't they?
No, they're hungry, and Devin, you know it firsthand as well. Our first couple years were rough as well, and we've had great support from the very beginning, but their fan base is a great fan base. They support the team. Of course, they want to win, but at the end of the day, they're close. I mean, they're really, really close, Devin.
Yeah. I think one thing that's fun with them is, from a Salina Liberty standpoint, we're done with them for the regular season, but now we get to sit back and watch that Topeka team go pull some upsets, right? They're going to beat some people.
I'm telling you right now, before the end of the season, they're going to upset some really good football teams, and they're going to actually play into the whole playoff scenario, because they're really close. I mean, they're a couple plays away from a couple wins, right? And all the respect to Topeka. Thank you for Liberty Nation, because they came out in full force last Saturday night. I mean, we had a good crowd, and they were loud.
Yeah. What's your perspective on the league? I know you kind of keep a pulse on the league and what's going on, and it just kind of seems like we have this big mass of talent right now that's kind of going through, doing their thing. Gillette was a big victory for them Saturday night. They knocked off Sioux City from the unbeaten ranks. They stay unbeaten now, does Gillette. Omaha is still sitting in there without a loss yet. And then it's just kind of like the rest of everybody else right now record-wise.
So first of all, the cream of the crop in the league has been Omaha and Sioux City. When we started this franchise, we wanted to emulate what Sioux City and Omaha did, because all the respect goes out to those two franchises. But what a turnaround for Gillette. I mean, they really struggled last year. They're formidable. I've watched a couple of their games. They have tremendous talent. It seems like they've kind of put the pieces of the puzzle together. They're going to be a tough out for sure.
And that is, looking ahead on the schedule, a Memorial Day weekend game up in Wyoming for Gillette and Salina to hook up.
Yeah.
So let's talk about what's going on. We're in the middle of a 3-game road string. We had a bye weekend there, so it's been a month since we will return home back April 8th against the Billings Outlaws. It seems like it's a long time coming, but the nice thing about that, Dan, is we're going to spend the whole month of April at Tony's Pizza Event Center, and that's going to be awesome for the fans.
When they put the schedule together and we were taking a look at the schedule, we were dreading March, because we were going to be away 3 games out, or 3 weeks out of 4 weeks. But if we can go up there and take care of business up at Rapid City and come back for a four-game homestand, with our fan base and playing in TPEC, and what Coach O and Coach Martinez do as far as the coaching staff. And let's be honest, Coach Spiller has been a tremendous add. And then my son, Coach Dylan Mendocino, I mean, I think we've really put some pieces of the puzzle together on the coaching staff as well. So they out-coached the team this Saturday night. We didn't play that well. We offensively, we played extremely well. Defensively, we had quite some lapses, a lot of opportunities, but I'm 100% confident that between now and the time we start our homestand, Coach Haran O'Neill will put the pieces of the puzzle together.
I know you guys are always rubbing sticks together. There's always sparks somewhere, and there's always going to be fire. I saw earlier on this week, or maybe yesterday or today, on Salina Liberty's Facebook page, you guys are already making moves for the homestand. You have the K-State Twirlers, which are always a great show coming in. A lot of times there's Salina girls on that team as well.
That's right.
Talk about some things coming up on the homestand.
Yeah, I mean, we got the talent this year on our entertainment is amazing, Devin. I mean, we have, 2 performances at every halftime show right now. We had to turn a gentleman down that was one of the semifinalists on The Voice, just because, for the national anthem, we have 2 halftime performances. So the K-State twirling crew, I mean, we expected we're probably going to have to pay them a little bit. They want to come here and be part of what we're doing here. So
and some of the best in the nation.
That's exactly right. So it's going to be a great draw, for our home Liberty Nation fan base. A lot of gals, Shannon Mice, their daughter, Lauren, for years was the lead twirler at K-State. So there's a lot of talent in Salina, and it's starting to branch out outside of our mileage as far as our boundaries go, and so we're really starting to grow, Devin.
Absolutely. We keep seeing and keep hearing fans in Fort Riley, Manhattan, Junction City. There's that I-70 corridor that Salina just seems to own, and people are kind of taking a heart to this team, and they're rooting Liberty, aren't they?
Yeah, it's we can't wait to get back home, because there's no place like home, right?
Yeah.
So, in our TPEC, I tell you, our arena is one of the nicest, if not the nicest arena in the league. It's a big arena, we want to fill it up eventually, but we can't wait to get home. We can't wait to be playing in front of our Liberty Nation fan base, and we continue to expand, miles out. Hayes, Russell, Lincoln, Abilene, and even Junction City area. We're really starting to get some followers.
It's an exciting time, and you can't get your tickets soon enough. That Salina Billings game is shaping up to be a big one. Of course, it's always a big one for Coach O'Neill because, as we said, he came from Billings. He still has family that lives in Billings. He has a house in Billings.
That's right.
Has his wife and his daughter in Billings. I mean, that's a big, big game, so we want to make sure we pack it for Coach
O'Neill. And I got a chance to meet the owner of Billings here when we were up in Sioux City, Stephen Titus. What a great guy.
Yeah.
And he's good for the league. He cares about the building strong franchises. That's what's important for this league. So great guy. We're going to shake hands. We're going to probably celebrate a little bit with drinks before, but then we want to beat each other on the field. That's what it's all about, right?
Sounds good. You and I will shake hands. That is the end of the Coach O Show.
Yeah.
Thank you for your time, Dan. Again, a big victory on Victory Monday, 66-65 in overtime for the Salina Liberty. They will turn their attention to South Dakota to play the Rapid City Marshals. That is coming up with a kickoff at 7 o'clock our time on Sunday. You can hear it right here on KINA and at 910KINA.com. We will talk to you in 2 weeks, as we will not have a show next week because of travel, that game being on Sunday. We will not have a Coach's show next week. So in 2 weeks, we'll get ready for a homestand right here at AJ's in the Alley with the Coach O Show on KINA and SalinaPost.com.
Go Liberty.